So if you're struggling with views on YouTube, not getting past 100 views per video, maybe you haven't even started your first channel yet, you're a beginner, but you're looking to enter this space, perhaps you're grinding to your first play button, but it isn't really going your way, then this will be the perfect video for you to watch, since I will be breaking down everything that is happening with the current algorithm, all of the AI policies that you might have heard about, and why they aren't really what you might think. Now, I can guarantee that many of you guys watching this video have gone on Twitter and you're seeing all of these different, termination stories, people being demonetized, everyone's blaming new AI policies or AI systems. And while it does look quite bad, and some creators are definitely being terminated for the wrong reasons, it isn't as bad as it sounds. And you might be wondering, who am I to even, claim this or talk about this? First of all, I ran my own faceless YouTube channels for years now. I made multiple millions of dollars from faceless YouTube channels, but I'm also overseeing the journey that hundreds of people that I work with, students, have. So I'm not only getting my own perspective of launching channels myself, but I'm also seeing the experience of hundreds of people launching new channels every single day, being successful with their channels, and all of this being 100% driven by AI. So I can give you a very good perspective on what works right now, what is risky and what isn't. So that's what I'm going to talk about. And before you mention the room, the background, it's not the usual scenery. I'm currently with my family in my hometown. Now, first things first. So this is Google Gemini. You might be familiar with it. You might not be. It is, Google's equivalent of all of these standard chatbots like ChatGPT. You can use it as ChatGPT, but why this is relevant is because since AI has now become such a pivotal part of the YouTube platform, they've implemented this new kind of AI technology to become their new surveillance system. So before, it was very different algorithms of how they caught, channels that are not allowed, how they caught people that are breaking the policies. This is a completely new system, and how they analyze the videos that you post have changed a lot. So before, like a few years ago or even a few months ago, if you want to drag it that far, what really mattered on YouTube was tags, metadata of your files, titles, all of this kind of stuff. But now what it has shifted to is that Google's Gemini, which can understand images, can understand sentences, can listen to content, can analyze content, it basically scans everything that you post on a more sophisticated level than before. So it understands what your video is about, and it understands if the video is just slop or some kind of, actually value contributing piece of content that someone has put on the platform. Now, what this has led to is, first of all, the wave of terminations and demonetizations, since a bunch of channels that have not been caught before are being caught, but also since the algorithm itself for how they find this kind of content has changed. That will, of course, bring a bunch of new terminations to the game. But you need to keep in mind that this is not affecting every single channel or every single channel created with AI on the platform. This is just affecting the lowest, like bare minimum slop content that people are putting out, which is becoming increasingly more normal due to the fact that people can now create content using AI and make it much cheaper. So right now we're seeing a very, very steep increase of channels being terminated, but the same is happening to the amount of channels being created. So people, now that they have access to all the most common AI tools like Eleven Labs, ChatGPT, all of these kind of good tools, creating content is becoming way, way, way more accessible for everyone, and that leads to a exponential amount of channels being created. So while some people are being caught in the crossfire and being terminated for very vague reasons, even myself, I had a channel with over 300,000 subscribers that was terminated, this kind of new system will not affect you as a beginner, most likely, unless you're creating the lowest level of AI slop. So what me and myself is doing, but also all of these students that we're teaching, we're using AI to aid us help create content faster and more cost efficiently. We're not 100% relying on AI to create the content for us, because that usually turns out to be the lowest kind of level of slop content, and then you're putting yourself at risk of being hunted by YouTube. So what you want to be doing is instead using AI to create high quality content as before, but you're creating this high quality content, and cutting the costs by 50% or more, and you're also creating it faster, helping you overcome your competition. So YouTube automation is essentially the same, except we are the first people to adopt AI tools, and we're the first people to implement this into this strategy, giving us a very good competitive advantage over everyone that is not doing so. So just to give you an understanding of what is considered the super risky, low effort AI content, this kind of content, and you can check out this channel after the video yourself. This is 100% safe as of now. We haven't seen any termination towards content like this, which basically just consists of, let's actually play a snippet of the video here on the screen.
Picture the first city in your mind. You're probably seeing walls, right? Massive stone fortifications protecting people inside from enemies outside. Maybe there's a palace where a king sits on a throne, passing judgment.
Now, as you can see, this is just an AI script, an AI voiceover, AI visuals even, that they've just generated like images. They've then put together in CapCut to make the entire video. And since they found their unique angle, this isn't really in the risk zone of being demonetized. At least it's very, very unlikely. So you can 100% safely proceed with something like this. Now here, just to draw the line and make sure that everyone watching this video is safe, you generally do not want to create lower effort content like this. This kind of content is super simple to create and basically costs nothing. But if you're going below this level of quality and perhaps just showing one image throughout your entire video, or maybe let's say only 5 images throughout the entire video, showing the same images for multiple minutes, then you're definitely in the risk zone, because like you're not really providing much with the content. You want to be providing something unique. You want to be making sure that your content is engaging so that people can look at it, like you have compelling visuals that provide some kind of entertaining value to the video. It's not just a script and storytelling and you're not being visually shown anything unique. That is where most people fall. So if you only make storytelling channels where it's just a story talking and there's nothing unique at all to your channel, then you're definitely going to be in the risk zone as well. So do not do that. So here's just an example of something exactly the same, just AI images. You can go and watch this channel after I posted the video here. But it's the exact style kind of content. They just have images. They have a very branded feeling for their channel. You can see that everything basically looks the same. And that is a very good part, because YouTube looks at your channel as a whole. If you have kind of a theme for your channel and it looks like you've actually put effort into creating it and maintaining this theme, then you are less likely to be terminated due to just them thinking you're here to just milk the platform of as much engagement as possible. So this is also completely fine, and we're generally seeing no terminations due to this. Now the second consequence of the rapid increase of channels being created and YouTube's AI police system is shadow bans. So this is a very common issue for many beginners. This is where most people fail and what keeps people from actually starting a YouTube channel. There are ways around it, don't worry, I'll show you. But a shadow ban looks like this. You post your video, you're super excited about it, excited to get some views, and then you go into the analytics and you see 1 view. If you then go over to the reach tab and see your impressions, you have like 11 impressions, maybe 30 impressions, 50 impressions, but all of them, or at least the vast majority of them, are from YouTube search. What this means, if you just think about it logically, you go over to the YouTube homepage. Since you're only being recommended through search features, which is the search bar up here, YouTube is not putting your content on the homepage for anyone. So your content is not being actively distributed to new viewers. It is only being shown to viewers who search for a string or a phrase very similar, if not the exact same title as your video has. So it means that you will not be able to grow. Like YouTube will not allow you to grow, basically, because they think that you are a robot or someone trying to harm the platform. Now this kind of concept and risk of being shadow banned has become very common. Basically everyone is shadow banned nowadays. It's something that most people don't even understand. But the best way to get around this is to think about the Gmail age of your channel, also the age of the channel itself when it was created, and then also what you do on this new channel when you're using it. And you might notice something very interesting here. If you take a closer look, the videos are uploaded in 2007, which back then I did not have a YouTube channel. This is because this is an aged YouTube channel, and this was a very strong strategy to use aged channels in the past. Now, however, this is not working as well. So the point of this is that you would acquire an aged channel that would have a very high trust score. And a trust score is just kind of a ranking system, or a term that we use in the YouTube automation space to determine how likely a channel is to get shadow banned. And aged channels, since they are created, let's say 10 years ago, 15 years ago, they would have a very high trust score because Google and YouTube see that they've been on the platform for a very long time. This is a trusted channel user or channel owner that we can just, give a full push when they post something. Everything is just perfect. But since so many people were doing this, this eventually got nerfed and is now not working as well anymore. But don't worry, because there are some good news as well. What you want to be using is called a pre-existing channel. At least that's what I like to call it. And this is data backed by, you know, hundreds of people starting new channels every single day. Also me starting hundreds of channels. So this is as good as you can get. So a pre-existing channel, what that means is basically the channel that you're watching my video with now. So it's a channel that is very likely to be a few years old, if not a few months old. It's something that you're actively using on the YouTube platform to watch content, and your Gmail is most likely also being actively used by yourself, since it most likely is your primary Gmail. And it's also been created a few years or months ago. So why this is very good is for the same reason why Edge channels were good. You are very likely with your channel to have a high trust score because it's in the sweet spot of being warmed up. You've used it a lot recently and you're watching content actively on it. You have used the Gmail a lot before, and it's most likely an old Gmail address. So this is what I mentioned. When you created this YouTube channel, you most likely used your primary email, and that is just good because it's also aged, it has activity, it's trusted across the Google network. And if you didn't know, Google owns YouTube, so they use the same kind of infrastructure. So this is by far your best bet and the first channel that you should be trying with. In the case that this is shadow banned, that is just tough luck, and you should always have more channels prepared in the back. You know, new channels that you've created and warmed up, or either Edge channels that you've acquired. And in terms of acquiring accounts, there are many sites to do so from, but this is by far the best one that has the best service. They actually have support, so if something is wrong, you can just reach out to the support and, you know, exchange the channel or whatever you want to do. I've been scammed many times in the past when I was beginner, but you slowly learn what sites are the best. Now, when you have your new channel and you're ready to start posting, there are some things that you should definitely not do. I know that you're going to be very tempted to go onto your channel, you know, change the name, change the profile picture, go into the settings and change the channel tags. But this might be the biggest mistake that you could be doing. No one knows if this with 100% certainty makes a difference, but what I've seen with many of my students and also my own channels is that if you change any of these, the channel name, the profile picture, or the channel tags, or any major settings in the channel really, and you make a bunch of changes before you start posting, this heavily increases the chance of the channel being shadow banned. Even many times I've seen people post 2-3 videos, getting very good organic traction, but as soon as they change the channel name or profile picture, the traffic just died down. So wait until you have consistent traffic on your new channel, and then you can make these changes to just take as many precautions as possible not to alarm YouTube's system in any way possible. But that's all about being terminated or shadow banned. Let's talk about some more fun stuff, how you can actually get more views in today's meta and with the current algorithm, and how you can increase the chances of you seeing success with your channel. So the reason why this channel is a very, very good example is due to the fact that they are posting only videos that are, you know, beyond 2 hours in length. And you might be asking them, why are you posting so long videos? But this is due to a very simple reason. So if you think about it, with AI, the costs for creating content has gone down astronomically, but also the speed in which you can create the content has gone up a lot, because you do not anymore need to wait for, let's say, a scriptwriter for 2 days to write your script. You can just go over to Claude, make your good prompt, and you have a script in, 20-30 seconds. So using this and also thinking about what YouTube truly wants, they want you to keep the viewer on the platform for as long as possible, and that is what they will reward you for. Because if your video is the reason why someone clicks off the platform or goes to sleep or whatever, moves on to another platform, they can track all of this, then they will not be wanting your content to be pushed. They want your content to keep the user on the platform for as long as possible, because that benefits them. They earn more money from the ads that are being shown. So if you just combine all of these facts, you'll come to the conclusion that if you post longer content, like this channel is doing, it's going to be easier for you to keep the viewer on the platform for longer. Just psychologically, if you start watching a 2-hour video, you are more likely to stay on it for a higher amount of minutes than if you start watching a 7 or 8 minute video. So they're really capitalizing on this. They're taking it to the extreme, don't get me wrong, but this is why you will see so many channels that are posting 1 or 2 hour long videos. People didn't really do it to this extent before, let's say a year ago, 2 years ago. And the second reason why you really benefit from posting longer videos is because your RPM gets drastically increased. So you can almost 3x or 2x your RPM just from making a 2-hour video instead of a 20-minute video. You will get such a higher RPM. So even though this channel might not be getting super much views that impresses you, they are still making anywhere between $5,000 to $10,000 per month from this one channel that is most likely also just running on autopilot, since it's just AI. And you'll see that it's not just this channel doing it. You have Dust and Glory here as well. 2 hours, even 3-hour videos. They're taking it to the next level. 2 hours was the kind of standard, but they seem to be doing 3-hour long videos, which is just insane. It's working really well for them. I could go on with channels forever that are doing this. These guys are posting 2-hour long videos as well. And this specific channel is one of the first channels that started with these super long history videos. They're absolutely printing, like definitely over $20,000 per month, if not more. Can even be over 30 grand. I've talked about this specific channel very many times in my previous videos, so I'm not gonna put too much weight onto it. But the second thing in how to outperform your competitors and get caught up by the algorithm is by uploading very, very often. So all of these channels, you'll see that they're not only uploading 2-hour long videos or 3-hour long videos, but they're also uploading multiple times per day or just every single day. You see here, 1 day ago, 2 days ago, 3 days ago, same for sleep time here. They're making something weird with members only videos as well, but they're posting 2 times per day it seems. Sleepless Historian is the exact same thing. They're posting once every other day it seems, or every single day. And the way they're able to do this is once again by using AI tools. It becomes easier and faster to create content. But the reason why they're doing it is because they are able to collect so much data and provide the algorithm with so much data as well, so that the algorithm faster can find the audience for your channel and start pushing it with more views. YouTube obviously likes active channels, so by providing it with a bunch of content, the algorithm will kind of like your channel more. But once again, do not go to the extreme to do this. Like, do not post AI slop content, just make it super long or post often, because then you're falling in the risk zone of being terminated or demonetized. And that is not what we want. Now, number 3. So this is just a quick tip for everyone that is a beginner out there. If you're starting a new channel and you see that one of your videos start being picked up by the algorithm, you're getting views from browse pictures, then hold off and do not post any more videos the next day or immediately. You generally want the video to breathe a little bit, because what can happen otherwise is that you post your video that gains traction the other day, and the day after you post a new one, that just completely kills off the video before. No one really knows why this is, but usually what we see is that if you post another video very closely after the first one, then it's likely that the second video will kill off the first one. This doesn't apply 100% to channels like this one that is already having so much traction and is very liked by the algorithm, but it applies to new channels, and it can be a very costly mistake that you make because you're just killing the kind of momentum, which is very important in the beginning. And lastly, number 4, this is also a very important change with the algorithm. It now takes you more videos to start getting traction than it would take you before. So let's say 1 or 2 years ago, you could post 2-3 videos, blow up, have a very good time, and then everything was just sunshine and rainbows. But now with AI and the increased amount of uploads being pushed out there and all of these new channels, it is becoming very, very hard to blow up with your first 1, 2, 3 videos. It's still very possible, and a lot of people are doing it. We're seeing all kinds of scenarios where this is happening, but generally for the average YouTube creator, it takes you between 10 to 15 uploads before you start seeing viral kind of traction. This is probably the biggest factor to why beginners who are posting good content are not seeing results and then they quit, because you need someone that can tell you and let you know about these things, also why I'm creating this free content, but also someone to tell you when you are doing something wrong and just wasting a bunch of money. And I can prove this very easily by just taking a look at the students in my program. So here's Gus. A few days ago, his channel was around 200 subs by the time that he posted this. And if we take a look at his graph, you'll see that he posted videos very consistently. This is probably 15, 20 videos. I don't want to count. And before he started seeing any notable results. So he was posting in the trenches here, but he stayed consistent through it all, and eventually his channel just picked up. And if I just fast forward to where this channel is now, then this would be the update. So I think he posted this next message like 2 weeks after the first one, and you can see that it blew completely out of the water, out of nowhere, and he hit over $2,000 in a single day, going from $0 to $12,000 in just 20 days of monetization. And all of this thanks to him being consistent, staying strong in terms of mindset, and just grinding through this first initial phase. And I can really show infinite examples regarding this. You can see that all of these screenshots, they're posting super consistently, not missing any upload. And that is also the reason why they are so successful, getting millions of views and earning tens of thousands of dollars. Like just scrolling up a little bit more, you can see Reed here, another graph. You see how consistent he has stayed with almost 4 uploads. I think this is per week that has gone by. And he was able to make over $75,000 in the first 5 months of this channel being created. So if you are staying consistent and you're not seeing these kinds of results, then that doesn't mean that there's an issue with your algorithm. It means that there's an issue with your content, you know, the topics, packaging, all of that kind of stuff. Even your niche plays a very big part. Now, I'm not saying that you will see these kind of results because Reed has done an amazing job in running his channel. But if you're not seeing any consistent views, you know, consistent growth from your channel, and you're staying this consistent, then there's definitely an issue beyond the algorithm. I could talk about this forever in other videos, which I also do. But if you are a serious person wanting to get into YouTube automation and learn to do it the new way with AI, then this program exists for the few people that we accept and that are really serious about this. We only care about the results that you get. And that is why we also don't accept and work with everyone. So there's a link where you can apply to join. Not everyone will be accepted, but if you feel like you are that kind of guy or that kind of girl, then definitely shoot your shot and we'll get back to you if we think that your application looks interesting. So yeah, thanks a lot. Just let me know what you want to see next. I'm creating content, everything about YouTube automation or YouTube growth in general. Simply the most upvoted comments I will create a video about. And just to leave you with something to watch, here's an interview with Aston. He got his channel to over 4 figures, 4.6k per month to be exact, very quickly, and he still hasn't left his full-time job. As with many of our other clients, no one really leaves their job before they start seeing results. So it means that you don't have to leave your stability or whatever you got going on in your life just to start a faceless YouTube channel. Very interesting. Take a look. It will give you a bunch of inspiration. I'll see you in the next one.
Right, so I'm currently at my dashboard on smmshiba.com, and do not get confused by the website names. SMM Shiba and SMM Dodge are actually the same website. So all you have to do once you've created yourself an account here is to go on list, click on this category icon, select, and here you want to select something, basically any option that says from with video. So I'm going to choose this one right here, and this should be already fine. 2014, 2017, yeah. Now I'm going to click on buy, confirm, and now you can go onto your product orders and you will see this is pending. All right, the order is now completed. This didn't even take 2 minutes. What you want to do now is you want to copy that ID, and we want to be organized, right? Especially if we have multiple channels, you will not find them again. So make sure to save it somewhere.